I invite all children and all who would like to be children to come to the front. My nephew posted on Facebook yesterday morning, "Gee, I'd like to be a kid again." We can be. This is the story of a very special baby. Walk, walk, walk. Mary and Joseph were going on a long trip to a place called Bethlehem. There were no cars or buses, so Mary rode on a donkey and Joseph walked all the way. Have you ever gone on a long trip? Did you have to ride all day long? You did. What was that like? Did you get bored? You did. It was 12 hours. Wow. Bryn, have you gone on a long ride?
Yes.
Well, Mary and Joseph went on a long ride and walk. They didn't have a car, so Joseph had to walk all the way. I think he had to walk 12 hours for probably about 3 days. That would be kind of hard, wouldn't it? And there weren't any McDonald's in those days either. They had to pack a lunch. Mary and Joseph traveled all day long, and they were very tired. Now it was getting dark. And Mary said, "Let's stop at this house, Joseph. Maybe they'll have a place where we can rest." So they knocked at the door. Knock, knock, knock. Now we've got to go knock at some doors and see if we can find a place to rest. Let's just all get up and go ask this man right here if he has a place for us. Who would like to ask him if he has a room where we can stay? You want to tell him? No?
Sorry, I don't have any place to sleep here.
Oh my. Well, let's try this lady over here. See if she has a room for us. Let's go ask this lady over here. She looks like a nice lady. I'm sure she'll have a place where we can stay. Okay, who would like to ask this time? That's good. That's good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't have any space for you to sleep tonight.
Oh dear, what are we going to do? Well, let's try one more person. Who will ask this man and see if he has any room for us?
Do you have a place for us to sleep tonight?
No, I'm so sorry. I do not have any room. However, there is a barn and you can go sleep with the horses and the cows if you'd like.
Okay. I guess we'll need to. Okay, you can sit down and get it. Do you think you'd like to sleep with the horses and the cows? Zoe? Would you like to?
Yes,
If you've been walking for 3 days, well, that's a good answer. So that's what they did. They went to the barn. What is a barn like? Have any of you ever been to a barn? Yes, Zoe?
I have.
Yeah. What do you remember about the barn?
There were a lot of goats there.
There were a lot of goats there, okay? What did it smell like?
It smelled like goat.
It smelled like goat poop, okay? What kind of sounds would you hear in a barn? Do you remember that? Would there be a lot of noise in the barn? Do you think it'd be very easy to sleep with all that noise and that smell of goat poop? No, I don't think it would be either. But that's what Mary and Joseph had to do. They had to just sleep in the barn. With the donkey and the cows and the horses and the goats and a mother cat and her kittens and probably some sheep too. Mary lay down on the floor on the barn floor with the hay. You want to pretend to lay down on the barn floor with the hay? No? Okay. And Joseph covered her with his coat so she'd be warm, because it was kind of cold. It was probably about like this. Think about being in a barn last night. That would have been real cold, wouldn't it? Or just a coat over you. I wonder, do you think Mary was very comfortable when she... No. What do you think Joseph was doing? Yes. You think he was looking at the stars? Okay. Well, so they went to sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And the stars were very, very bright. And then something happened. Mary had a little baby. Mary held the baby really close to her because she knew that babies like to be loved. Oh, sorry. Have you ever held a baby? A really little baby? Really? Did you hold a baby? Well, I have a little baby right here. Not a real baby, a pretend baby. And I'm going to give it to you to hold. Show us how you'd hold the baby. In fact, why don't you come hold it really close and love it. And then you can, yes, and rock it. And then you can give it to Bryn, and she can hold it too. Now, Mary didn't have a bed for the baby. What do babies usually sleep in? We call it a crib. And if you've been in anybody's house where they've got a new baby, they usually have all kinds of decorations and and pretty sheets and pink and blue and things like that. She didn't have that. Where does she have to put the baby? Do you know? Yes, where? In a goat's crib, yes. Not where goats sleep, but what do goats usually do in the crib? They eat, that's right. So there was probably hay in there for the goats to eat. Do you think that's a very good bed for a baby? No. But that's what they had, so that's what they did. She was in the crib. Put the baby in the crib. Now, that night with all those stars, there were some shepherds in the hills who were taking care of sheep. And they saw the bright stars and they heard a voice and it said, "Go to Bethlehem and see the very special baby." So that's what they did. And they got to hold the baby too. They hurried to the barn. And they saw the baby. And they got to hold it. And when we come, what do you think this tells? And the baby had a special name. What was the baby's name? Begins with a J. Shh. Jesus, right. Jesus is the very special baby. And it's his birth that we celebrate this week on Christmas Day, on Christmas Eve. And when Jesus comes to us as a baby, it says that all of us are just like God's children. So let's take care of each other. Anything else you'd like to say? Thank you for listening to the story of a very special baby.